Thank you very much for having me. I again have a fairly small time slot, so I'm going to try to keep it to queue as much as possible, right? So a little bit about me. Come by booth 19 if you want to chat more. But we've been doing D2C now for almost 10 years, from an era when it didn't even have a name. We called it brand e-commerce. We called it a lot of things. And we always envisioned someday there will be an event for D2C. And it's happening today. So we're extremely happy. And what a great job Images has done to get all of us in one room, to talk about D2C, to talk about how we grow D2C, and how this really becomes a big part of our economy, right? So we've seen it, a lot of numbers here, but the key takeaway is that D2C is growing. We are seeing it happen, right? And like many other channels, I guess the promise of the channel far exceeds the reality as of today. At least that's what we see from our data. But we continue to believe that the promise exists, and all of us in this room, all the numbers that you all are going to do are going to be part of this. So, so I think strap on and get ready for what's coming your way, right? So before I move on, a quick show of hands. How many of you guys here absolutely love Facebook and Instagram as an ad channel? Yeah, 4, 5. Great, fantastic. I need to talk to you guys. How about Google? Yeah, a few more hands there, right? What I'm here to talk about is how these channels are really are doing well in certain cases, are not doing well in certain other cases. You feel you have a handle on it at one point, and 3 days later you don't have a handle on it. You have your favorite ad campaign, which is bringing in a lot of revenue, and 5 days later, it's no longer doing that. So here is a quick look at some of our customers. India, based on where it is, a majority of the GMV or the sales you all are doing is still coming from new customers. These are 3 different brands. The purple talks about repeat users, and a mature one looks more like what you have on the right. They've been at it for 3 years, but focused heavily on growing repeat business. And the cost of getting these new customers, that's what is broadly classified as CAC, and how that CAC is really playing and becoming a bigger and bigger factor on what Naveen also just mentioned, profitability, right? How do you get to profitability? So while this is happening, brands are spending 25 to 45%. We know of brands spending 70% of their GMV on ads, right? This is happening, and this is one of your largest spends, right? As you continue to grow your brands, as you continue to get new customers and try to even retain your existing customers. Most graphs look like the one on the left, where your ad spend keeps going up, your revenue goes up, and then one fine day, your ad spend is still going up, but your revenue isn't. There are few that look like the one on the right, where you're able to consistently keep growing or at least maintain your revenue while you're bringing down your ad spends. And I'm sure all of us, we want to be on the right and not on the left, right? So, but it's a complex problem, right? It is not as easy as just getting 2 or 3 things right. Just some numbers, right? A simple store that we would manage and run growth for, even if you have 10,000 daily visitors, you're generating 1 million records a day. 1 million records a day. Let that sink in. And these are different records, right? These are either what's happening on your website, what's happening on a campaign, CTRs, CPMs. I can go on and on, but that's the amount of data that's getting generated. And we are, as of today, at least overly dependent on Google and Facebook, right? A lot of brands work with agencies. Agencies, of course, bring a lot of skill set, but just fundamentally, they're there to manage your spend, right? And GMV has a lot more to do with just managing spend. It's also what happens when a user goes on website. Is your pricing right? Are your offers correct, right? And all of this just keeps adding to this massive pool of data that is getting generated every day. And at least, with all of this data in front of us that we've been seeing now for 10 odd years, we still find it hard to analyze and actually come up with meaningful results that lead to growth. So in the last 6 months itself, of the stores that we manage, Google CPMs have grown by 200%. Google CACs have grown by more than 200%. Facebook CPMs are the same over the last 6 months. So whatever you are spending to get your 1,000 visitors is kind of the same, but the CACs are growing. So what does it mean? Facebook is still kind of charging you the same amount of money to get to its audience, but to make that audience work for you, to actually get them to buy, it is becoming harder, right? So the last piece is something that I would really like you guys to let it sink in. We all believe that if you spend more, it'll get better. If you spend less, it'll get better. But there is no correlation between spend and CAC, right? The correlation coefficient is 0.1, right? Which is almost in one brand you spend more and your revenue grows significantly. In another brand you spend more, your revenue may dip, right? And why is all of this happening as we do this, right? Because just the volume of data that you need, and the only way that you can manage this today is to rely on machine learning. Finally, machine learning is no longer a solution in search of a problem, right? It is actually solving a problem on a day-to-day basis. So can you analyze all of these records and come up with very simple actions to take, including which budgets to change, which creatives to change? And that is where the secret sauce lies in being able to control your CAC. Now, we've done this to a point where we believe that our product will help, but we had to take it a step further and say, you know what, we believe it's going to help, we are willing to spend for you. We will actually spend on Google and Facebook because we wanted to prove that this product works. And now it's finally reached a point where we are actually able to control CACs with the help of machine learning. Now, can you beat the Google and Facebook algorithms? No, right? Not yet, at least. But if you know your data well, can you be on top of managing your ads, managing your acquisition costs? The answer to that is absolutely yes, right? Key steps that have worked for us, they're up there for everybody to look at. Unfortunately, we say this in the office, and I'm sure you all believe this as well, which is CAC reduction is a race without a finish line. We'll all be running for as long as D2C exists and continues to grow. But these are the 7 odd things that have worked for us in the recent past, right? So that's a little bit about me and what we've been able to do at Shoptimize. This is, of course, a much longer conversation. Please come by. We are at booth 19. Would love to show you some real examples of how this is happening. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.